Opportunity to let you know a little about the Greenville Hospital System's experience with the surgery safety checklist. About 18 months ago, we made a commitment as a system, the board, the medical staff, the nursing staff, the administration, to engage in this project to put a surgery checklist, a safety checklist in every operating room in South Carolina to improve the quality of care we deliver to our patients. The first thing we did was form a team, an implementation team, a leadership team, surgeon, anesthesiologist, an obstetrician, senior leadership, nursing staff, administration, and with the help of Dr. Barry and his team at Harvard, we modified the World Health Organization safety checklist to fit our particular operating rooms, and then we slowly rolled it out to operating rooms across the system to where now we have it used in all of our operating rooms throughout the system. We continue to get feedback from our staff, from our physicians, our nurses, and we modify what we're doing by this feedback, and that process is ongoing at this time. In the future, I see us using this leadership team to help the people in the GI lab, the cath labs, the ICUs, the nursing units, to come up with their own safety checklist to improve the care they deliver to their patients. Just to give you an example of the buy-in that we have and the enthusiasm, several months ago, the anesthesia staff and the nursing staff in the intensive care unit, the cardiovascular intensive care unit, came to us and said, can you help us develop a checklist for the transition of the patients from the operating room to the intensive care unit after open heart surgery? So we did that. And what we're seeing is the patients are less hemodynamic variability. We think there's going to be an impact on medication errors and earlier time to extubation. What we see is the nurses in the ICU feel much more comfortable that they're delivering the best care they can to their patients with this checklist. We have numerous examples, as Dr. Gwandui said, about errors that have been picked up in the operating room or prevented, availability of blood, availability of implants, use of antibiotics, that the checklist has had an impact on. But one thing I'd like to tell you about is a personal thing that happened to me in my operating room. I was doing a routine coronary bypass, and we completed our surgery briefing. That's what we call it in our hospital. We don't call it a checklist because we felt that surgeons, if it's a checklist, they think it's something they shouldn't be involved in. So we call it a surgery briefing and debriefing. We went through our surgery briefing, and I'm proceeding with the bypass. And right before we get ready to go on the heart-lung machine to implement bypass, this little voice from the back of the room shouts, "Stop." Of course, everybody did. And this nurse, who's relatively new to our team, young nurse, she was actually helping the circulator, looked at me and said, "Dr. Wright, I'm not sure if this is right, but I think there's air in that line." And sure enough, there was a bolus of air about that big in the line leading to the patient. And if that had been delivered, if we had instituted bypass, if the patient hadn't died, they would have had a profound neurologic deficit. The most important thing is she was able to do that. She wasn't sure, but she felt empowered to be able to say something, that there was an issue she felt was going to impact that patient's safety, and she felt empowered to do that. And I left the operating room that day feeling very good about the real power of this tool, that it's a communication tool, that we're starting to have an impact on the culture in our operating rooms and the way we communicate in our operating rooms. And that, I think, is the real power of this tool and what's going to lead to improving the safety and quality that we deliver to our patients. And I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.